Hi, this is Dave Meltzer with Entrepreneurs The Playbook, and I am so excited to have a tremendous woman entrepreneur, Renee Wang, CEO, co-founder of both Castbox and Contentbox. And like every great entrepreneur, you're an overnight success. 18 years or so, you made it.
Yeah.
But it is quite a journey, especially considering here you are, a young woman from Beijing who's built this great business, and I couldn't imagine a better space to be in than Castbox, at least right now, and maybe for the future Contentbox. How did that evolve for you to have enough courage to build your own business?
Yeah, first, thank you, David, for having me here.
Of course.
Yeah, actually, before the startup, I used to work for Google Japan. And at that time, it's a really comfortable life. And I get good salary, good food, and everything is good.
Google's known for good food. Every 200 feet, you have to have food when you work for Google, right?
That's true, and also especially for Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have the best sushi, So
good tips here on the playbook.
But at that time, I just feel like boring. It's like for every day I repeat the same thing. I make the same phone call, repeat the same product, and dealing with the same customer issues day by day. I feel like I should do something, go out of my comfortable zone to try to something challenge, try to something new and something more more difficult. But it was like.
And what did your family think about that? Because I couldn't imagine culturally our families like to keep us safe, and they were probably like, "Oh my God, she has the best job, and she doesn't appreciate it. Now she wants to screw it all up."
Yeah, they feel. I mean, there was a little background before I joined Google, because before I joined Google was my dream offer. So because I began my major in psychology in college was psychology, but I'm really big fan of coding, so I learned code by myself.
Wow.
As a developer, Google is kind of like a dream place for every single developer. So that's why it spent me 8 months to interview to go through Google. For that 8 months, I did nothing but prepare for the interview. It's true, I prepared for 5 new roles in Google, and fail, and then try another new role. So every time I change my English name. So every time, if you get refused by Google,
You're like Sophie Wang,
That's
Julie
true.
Wang.
Exactly.
That's good.
My first name changed, but the family name stays the same.
Yeah, that's good.
Change a phone number, change an email number, and change my first name. Because every day if you get failed, you cannot apply within half a year. They feel like you cannot improve so fast within 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's why I do quit my previous job and spent 8 months doing nothing but prepare for one-on-one, roles. So that's why when I said after 4 years in Google, I said, I want to quit. My family who know about my history when I apply for Google, they feel like insane. They feel, you spent almost your whole life to be there. Why you want to quit?
In 4 years.
Yeah, but I feel like, I already been there. I already achieved my goal. Because before I joined Google, my goal is attending to Google.
Yeah.
And I work very well there and promote, very quickly. I get the salary increased, very soon. But still, I feel like, this is my time to take my, next journey. So that's why at that time, but I do hesitate, I have to be honest. And because at that time, I get several options. If I stay in Google, I get another, manager opportunities, which would mean that I would be the youngest manager of the cross-country manager at that situation. And then I get another offer from Facebook, who are doing similar thing but much higher salary. And we got some other more tech-heavy offer from another team, a tech team. Yeah, from the, and then in the meantime, we get some other opportunities as a co-founder, like a COO of other startup company. But I want to do something on my own. And I told my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, now it's ex-boyfriend.
Take that.
So I told him, I cannot decide which option I should take. It all seems good,
Yeah.
Either makes better salary, either makes better, future. And he said that, which one you feel most excited? I said that I think maybe startup because it's more challenging and it's more like a lot of things I didn't know. So he says that just pick one you feel most excited. He said that because there's a lot of options for every single moment, you have a lot of options for your life. And no matter which one you take, you will never have a parallel universe to go through all the other options. Even though the option you take is not that good, for example, you failed for your startup after 2 years later, you never know. Maybe the other options is even worse.
Yeah, right.
And
Now, that's
true.
the psychology side of that.
That's true.
Right? I say all the time that, nothing's an accident, but two, there's a reason or a purpose to what we did. Now, you studied psychology.
Yeah.
Did you find that helped? Because you exceeded so much differently than most people to get the job at Google. I think because you had a different perspective from the psychology background, you figured out a way to work the system. And then when you had truly accelerated your career, now you had multiple options and you took a decision or made a decision based on a different philosophy or psychology.
That's true.
And do you feel that your life would have been different if you just went initially into coding?
Yeah. But I mean, if we only talk about psychology, it's called about for every people. If you're doing something, people are doing for different reasons. Some people are really purchase achievement. Some people doing things for avoid punishment. Some people doing things because they feel responsible for certain people or certain things.
That was me.
Great for you. And some people feel like, there's a lot of room for self-development. They feel good when become better version. So I think when I was younger, I was more like avoid of punishment. I don't want to other people feel me I'm not good. It was when I was young. Mm-hmm. So that's why all the decision I made is try to avoid of failures. Yeah. But when I get more mature, get bigger, grow older, I feel like I now more choose the fourth choice. Like I try to become better version of myself. So if this is true, it's like it's nothing happened to me if I make a mistake. It's an opportunity for me to overcome it. It's an opportunity for me to challenge myself and become more stronger and be bold. And if I make an achievement, it's also great. It's another opportunity for me to step another, jump into another bigger step and see a bigger view. So it means that for me, that it's all on the road. So it's always on the way. So no matter how much thing we have achieved or how much failure we have go through, it's all the process. So it's all a way for me to meet a better version of myself.
And through that psychological view, you seem to have really maintained the control of fear.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're looking for your higher self, your better self. But there's so many people, if you're worried about the failure, if you're worried about instead of learning, you're worried about what other people would think. Through that shift in the paradigm, how has that accelerated you to move from, now you took the entrepreneurial job, and that evolved to you starting your own startup?
That's true.
And that was a big leap.
Yeah, exactly.
And was that already through that transformational thinking of I'm just going to better myself and be bold?
That's true. And also about the failure thing, there's also from my boyfriend. By the way, my ex-boyfriend also majored in psychology, but he got a PhD. So that's why I think he's better than me. So he said about the failure is another methodology. He said, so he said when he's young, there's also a lot of rain and sun, in his city. And he also feel unsafe because he might get killed when there's a big rain or sun. But after a while, he feel like, if I get killed, I already killed. So I already died. So I will never feel, the unhappiness. So why not experience the current thing? Just not afraid of like the potential failure. Just enjoy the moment.
Yeah, be very present.
That's true. Be present. So that's why I think during the whole journey, during the past 4 years, all my like entrepreneurship is like full of like challenge. Every day I'm facing a big problem basically every day. For example, at the very beginning when I first back to China, I do not know any investors. No people want to invest me even $1. So that's why I sold my house. So I basically sleep in the office. Yeah. So I sold the house and using the money, I sold the house and self-funded the company. And when open the, move the headquarters from China to the US, it was my first time go to the US.
Really?
Yeah, so my first time I've been there, I opened an office. So I know.
Do you live in the office in the US too?
No, not, but it's illegal. So, but in China, I'm still in the office.
We were so small, I thought maybe you just fit in there and nobody noticed.
Because in the office, in the US, we are using the co-working space, which not allowed me to sleep there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so when I go to the US, I know basically no people, and the early group of the team members, they are not that suitable for the company, for the startup. So there was a lot of fight before. I feel like every day when I get up, there's like problems. So yeah, but it's.
Did you ever regret when the early days are always challenging?
Yeah.
I've done many startups, won money, made money, lost money.
Yeah.
Was it ever to the point where you're thinking, gosh, I just want to go back and work at Google?
No, never. Because the Google HR, the HR, he continually to pitch me back
in
Japan, because when I was with Google, the review was good. So that's why I continued to receive the email from him, but I never want to go back. There was a very funny part, because at the very beginning there was only me in the office for the first almost half a year, and I developed the first version of Castbox, and at that time I code every day until midnight. And because I try to make it alive as soon as possible. So I remember to save money, we rent a really bad office, which is the office still under decoration. So it means that every night about 1 or 2 p.m., 1 or 2 a.m. in the midnight, I have to wake up the door guy to open the door, because as mentioned, it's under decoration, it's still locked.
Yeah.
And every day he said that, it's so hard to make money. At the very beginning, I thought he's talking about himself, talking about me, as a lady go home really late, midnight every day. I thought, he's so nice, feel pity about me. But after about 1 month, he quit his job because he said he cannot handle, wake up by me, every midnight. So to open the door for me, he feel like his money made him so hard. But anyway, I didn't quit. He quit, but I didn't quit. I just try to make sure the first version live, and using the money I sold my house to promote. And after it's live, it grew to 1 million downloads within 1 month.
Yeah.
And then the invest money came, soon. So nowadays we raised more than $30 million and try to using this money, building bigger team, try to improve the product. But anyway, there was a very humble beginning. But I never feel regret. I just feel, this is the life. This is how it
your journey.
Yeah, this is how
enjoying your potential.
That's true.
So, one other thing too is, people don't talk about it, but you sacrificed everything to make Castbox successful.
That's true.
But there comes a point too that you have to raise money.
That's true.
And to pay yourself. Right? There comes a time you just can't give everything and not pay yourself. How did you deal with the timing of raising money?
Yeah.
And then 2, how do you feel about paying yourself?
Okay, nowadays, I want to be honest, my salary is very low, and because I didn't spend too much money, so it's no time for me to spending money. So my salary is about $3,000. 3,000. It's almost 20,000 RMB. So it's not a lot of money, but it's enough for me. I even didn't spend that much. So, and
well, you work all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not work. It's activity you get paid for.
Yeah,
you love it. It's
that's
your
true. That's true. Because, and also, as I mentioned, why my boyfriend become ex-boyfriend, because I met him 4 times during the past 2 years. I have no time to meet him at all. So that's why I basically gave up all my personal life and all my things, and I threw all my previous money into the company, or my savings, house, and everything. So basically, I'm not asking for a lot of salary because I didn't need to. Yeah. So it's all the startup gave me the most pressure, the most pleasure. And but for raising money part, we did need the investors' money because we want to grow faster.
Right.
So, for example, nowadays we still spend about $10,000 per day on user acquisition every day. It's every day basically 3 times of my monthly salary. So I spend on user acquisition, and also by using the money raised by investors, we do a lot of trials. We launch in-audio search. we launched a unique feature called Livecast, which is a live streaming, podcast.
Right.
We launched an in-app community.
Which I want to try out with the playbook.
That's true.
I think we started doing research to do the live cast.
Yeah, sure. So we did a huge of like different trials using the money. Without the money, it's impossible for us to try all the things. But without innovation, without creative ideas or crazy ideas, there will never be, the true, disruption never happen in the industry. Because still, if you say when the big giants like Google, like Apple, like Spotify jump into the podcast industry, they are still stuck in the traditional RSS approaches. But it should change because it's not Internet 1.0 anymore.
Right.
Yeah, we should leverage the voice command. We should leverage the natural language process. We should leverage the social audio, like the live castings. So this is the only thing to make the industry moving faster than traditional RSS. So that's why the invest money is very important, and we want the company grow bigger to one day can get their money get returned.
Yeah, it's amazing because so many of the philosophies are textbook philosophies.
Oh,
so you
really?
have, one, enjoy the journey,
okay.
right? You're willing to, you're in the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. Then 3, the way that you raise money was a selfless, abundant way of expansion into a market that's growing so fast that you can't afford, but to sacrifice everything to build a business. I think entrepreneurs, there's 2 choices. You can make money with a business or build a business, right? And then you go do a transition once you build it that you can make money. Like Amazon, just build
until AWS.
Exactly, yeah. And it's amazing. Yeah. So what's the one piece of advice? You've had an extraordinary journey so far, and you call yourself, when I was young, I'm like, what are you, 12 still? This is amazing. You're like already just so successful. But what one piece of advice would you give a young entrepreneur, after everything you've been through to get to where you're at?
Yeah, I think just never give up. I mean, the only failure is that you give up. Otherwise, there's no failures, only problems, only blocks.
If everything in the marketplace changed and you had to close Castbox and ContentBox, what would you do?
I will still do the entrepreneur thing. It's so amazing. It's like much fun than every other, entertainment in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even though I think the content needs is basically is like a kind of like a general needs. Even though like Castbox, ContentBox, we have like more like innovation than that. We can try different things, but it's like but I feel like we are still doing something that. Valuable to users, and as far as it exists, I think we can continually to improve and to try to new stuff.
Last question. Everybody talks about the different values that we have.
Yeah.
You have the personal values with your health, family, boyfriends.
Yeah.
You have experiential values, which your experience is very giving values, what you're giving to others and receiving. I don't think they ever are balanced. I think in the end of your life, you're lucky if they balance out. But certain times in your life, like right now, you're neglecting some of the different values.
Yeah.
Do you perceive that you'll ever put the brakes on and say, I want to enjoy my life instead of being an entrepreneur and build a family and get married?
No, I personally, I believe you are in a good marriage. But
Yeah, I am. As you know, our biggest fans are out there watching us.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm not a marriage
material.
people. That's true.
I think that's important because a lot of entrepreneurs, either, in my opinion, and when I was a young entrepreneur, I made great sacrifices. So I married a person that knew that and agreed to it, or they don't want to get married, don't want to have families.
I mean, it's not. It's separate. I'm not getting married because I'm an entrepreneur. It's just the two separate decision.
Yeah.
I want to be an entrepreneur, and I don't want marriage. So
nothing
related.
There's a psychology for everyone. Well, I think this has been extraordinary.
Yeah.
You're an extraordinary person, and I know Castbox and ContentBox are going to be a huge success. I personally want to start using Castbox, working more closely with my podcast.
Yeah,
so
sure.
We really appreciate your time. Renee Wang with Dave Meltzer, Entrepreneurs, The Playbook.